Name a Bengals breakout candidate for me going into the 2025 season. Obviously, a bunch of young players to choose from on this roster. Who's a guy that you think is going to break out for this football team in 2025? Sound off for us in the comment section of today's show. What's going on, Bengals fans? Stone Shields on hand for another edition of Bengals Breakdown by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, we're going to be breaking down the top 10 breakout candidates for Cincinnati going into the 2025 season. Thought this would be a good time to do it. Obviously, mandatory minicamp just kind of got wrapped up. So we're going to be breaking down 10 dudes, 5 on offense and 10 on the defensive side of the football here on today's show. And as I mentioned already, make sure you get your breakout candidates for us in the comment section of today's video. All right, first name here that we got to discuss is Jermaine Burton. Now, Burton is very interesting. A lot of conversation has been kind of going around Jermaine Burton from Zach Taylor, from Joe Burrow, from T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, kind of saying, hey, they've been impressed with Jermaine Burton so far this offseason, the maturity that he's shown, the professionalism that he has shown. And obviously that was a massive issue for him last year and a reason why he wasn't on the football field probably as much as he should have been from a talent perspective. But there is no denying he really has a lot of talent. He can flat out play football. It's just a matter of can he be a professional, can he be a good teammate, and you're seeing a big change. Look, the clips that we've seen from him talking to the media, it seems like he's kind of done a complete 180, to be completely honest with you. And I've been very impressed with what I've seen with Jermaine Burton, but because of how bad things were last year, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know what? I'll believe it when I see it. I'm rooting for him. I hope it all goes well, but until I see it out there on the football field and see him, being a good teammate, being a professional, and really doing a much better job than he did last year, it's going to be hard for me to believe. But considering the talent that he has, the physicality in which he plays with, I think he belongs at the top of this list. If he is able to stay out there on the football field, there's no reason he can't break out on this football team, especially considering the help that he's going to get, not only from a mentoring standpoint from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but when he's out on the football field, he's going to, be matched up against the weakest guy out there, and he has an opportunity to explode this year in 2025. What is your confidence level in Jermaine Burton? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Scale it for me. 1 on the low end, 10 on the high end. By the way, it is the pinned comment of today's video. Let me know. Scale it for me in the comments right now. All right, Joseph Ossai is next up here on this list. Ossai, obviously, he's getting that 1-year prove-it deal, as we've talked about, right? I was very open, saying, you know what, Joseph Ossai, appreciate your services. I was ready to move on after last season, but Bengals front office through Tobin and company, they say differently. They're giving him a 1-year prove-it deal, and he's going to have an opportunity to go out there and produce. Obviously, as of filming this video, a lot of uncertainty with the Bengals at that edge rusher spot, with Trey Hendrickson, his situation, with Shamar Stewart, his situation as well. Joseph Ossai is going to have an opportunity here to get a lot of reps. And he had a solid season last year. All right, I don't think he won nearly enough, but obviously the 5 sacks there in the young age is intriguing. And Cincinnati's rolling the dice. Hopefully Jerry Montgomery, new defensive line coach, can really get the most out of Joseph Ossai, and he has a prime opportunity here to break out and perhaps go earn himself a big deal. Probably not with this football team, but someone else across the National Football League. Next up here is Amarius Mims. This is one of my favorite players on the football team. I absolutely love Amarius Mims. I thought last year as a rookie, he really did a great job of holding his own. Was he perfect out there? No. Did he give up a couple of sacks? Sure. But he was out there. He was battling hard in the AFC North in the trenches with Joe Burrow and those boys. Again, when you throw as much as the Bengals do, makes it really hard on the offensive line. And I thought he really did a great job and really hung in there. This is a guy that's an incredible dude, a great teammate, and a true professional, right? Something that the Bengals are hoping, Jermaine Burton can perhaps learn from. But Amarius Mims appears to be the right tackle of the future. Shoot, when Orlando Brown Jr. is done here, he might even swing over to the left side and be that left tackle. But I am really excited about him. I am looking for him to have a big, big year. Biggest thing for him is health, right? Obviously, he got nicked up a little bit there a couple of times, some of which he was able to play through, some of which he wasn't. And hopefully, he can stay healthy this year and really be one of the best pieces on their offense at that right tackle spot. Myles Murphy, had to throw him in here as well. If you're talking about Joseph Ossai, you also got to be talking about Myles Murphy. Feels like now or never, right? I mean, not quite, right? Because it's year 3, but you got a whole lot of nothing the first 2 years. Now you're getting the help of, hey, bringing in, new guys on the defensive staff. Jerry Montgomery on the offensive line. Obviously, Al Golden calling the shots. This is your former first-round pick. Do all first-round picks pan out? No, we understand this. But the Bengals haven't quite given up on Myles Murphy yet. He's going to be coming out with a big chip on his shoulder. It appears as though his head is in the right spot, and he's ready to go out and attack this 2025 season. The Bengals believe he has the traits that could make him a really good player in this football league. It's time to turn those traits over into production here in year 3 and year 1 with Al Golden's defense. He's got to be a prime breakout candidate. We're all sitting here waiting for it to happen. Let's see if it culminates on the football field in 2025. I'd throw Yoshi on this list as well. Now, I think Yoshi was unbelievable last season. I thought he filled out his role exactly how Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor would have wanted. But the reason I have him on this list is I really think he can be really, really special. Like, I'm borderline household name, right? You're playing with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You're that number 3 wide receiver out there. I love the toughness that Yoshi has out there on the football field. He might trick you as just some laid-back, happy-be-lucky kind of guy. But he's a tough dude out there on the football field. He takes massive shots, and when he does, he holds on the football, and he pops right back up. How many times we see him run like a seam route down the field and get absolutely blasted, hold on to that football, pick up a big first down? How critical was he for Joe Burrow in the red zone last year as well? Those 6 touchdowns, unbelievable. Always really good in those extended plays, right? When things break down, Joe Burrow scrambling, he knows where he needs to be. Yoshi gets to that spot, and Joe Burrow finds him, and it's really been magical. 6th-round guy out of Princeton. And, again, thought he was phenomenal last year, but I think there's a whole nother level that he can tap into, and I'm looking for him to have a massive breakout year here in 2025. Defenses obviously are going to be doing everything they can to slow down T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, which, by the way, is impossible, but Yoshi will get some favorable matchups, and I'm convinced that he will capitalize on them. We'll continue with our breakout candidates here in a moment, but do want to give a shout-out to our friends over at Fanatics. Let you guys know that these Bengals Crucial Catch hoodies are out. They're on sale. You can go get them. Chatsports.com/Bengals hoodie / really a great cause. It's the NFL's way fighting back against cancer with this Crucial Catch initiative, and they're on clearance as well, and I think it's a really cool, comfortable sweatshirt in addition to all of that. So one more time, chatsports.com/Bengals hoodie / we'll put that in the link in the comments section and the description here of today's show. 5 more we'll get to. 3 on defense, 2 on offense. First up here is Dax Hill, right? Fingers crossed from a health perspective, but Dax Hill is a prime breakout candidate. He was on pace to do that last year in the 5 games in which he was able to be out there on the football field. Obviously, an injury early on derailed that, but if he can come back and look like he did at the beginning of last season, he can be really, really special for this football team. I'm really excited for Dax Hill. I have a lot of high hopes for Dax Hill, and I personally think he is the best cornerback and just flat-out best defensive back on this football team. Hopefully he can show it for Cincinnati here this coming season. Got me wondering, though, who do you think is Cincinnati's best cornerback? I think it's Dax Hill, right? I think the Bengals had, goals and hopes of it being Cam Taylor-Britt, which, spoiler alert, we'll get to him a little bit later in today's show. But who do you think is Cincinnati's best cornerback? Is it Dax Hill? Is it Cam Taylor-Britt, right? Is it DJ Turner II? Shoot, Josh Newton. I don't know. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Get that name for me in there right now. All right, got to go with your 6th-round pick here in Tahj Brooks. Look, I have talked about at length how he's either my favorite or my second favorite draft pick, right up there with Dylan Fairchild, right? Tahj Brooks is a guy that I think is going to carve out a really nice career in the National Football League. But as far as when we see Tahj Brooks really take on that big role, obviously that remains to be determined here at this point. He's going to have an opportunity to compete with Zach Moss and Samaje Perine for that guy that's getting the reps behind Chase Brown. I definitely think it's going to be a committee of dudes right at that running back spot, but he's going to have an opportunity to earn more carries. We'll see if he can do it. He's a prime suspect here for a breakout candidate in 2025. Another rookie on the defensive side of the ball this time is Demetrius Knight Jr. Demetrius Knight, as of filming this video, is still unsigned, but he signed his injury waiver, so he's out there on the football field, as he should, by the way. Really applaud him for that. He's a really mature guy. Al Golden absolutely loves him. Make no mistake, this is an Al Golden pick. And the Bengals obviously have a lot of work to do at that linebacker spot, right? No Jermaine Pratt. He's now gone. He's in Vegas. It's Logan Wilson and the Young Bucks in that room. And I think Demetrius Knight Jr. is going to have a lot of opportunity to go out there and be productive. And quite frankly, he doesn't really have a choice. He's got to go out there and play well. Hopefully he does. And hopefully Zach Taylor, Duke Tobin, and Al Golden look really smart here with this pick. Certainly rooting for him. Third wide receiver that we will put here on this list. Look, one of these three is going to break out, right? It's just kind of a matter of who it's going to be. Again, I feel the most comfortable with Yoshi. He's going to be fine. He's going to be good. It's just a matter of if he's good or really, really good. And then the other two are wild cards. Jermaine Burton, obviously now Charlie Jones as well. Kind of similar to Myles Murphy. Kind of feels like now or never for Charlie Jones. Again, it's definitely not nearly as high stakes, right? Because you're looking at a first-round pick versus a fourth-round pick in Charlie Jones, but he's really been hit with the injury bug and he's been hit hard. So we really don't know what he's capable of doing from a football perspective out there on the field. Obviously, we've seen what he can do as a returner, but as a receiver, only 10 targets, 8 catches, 69 yards, no scores. We don't really know. Obviously, he had the hand issue a couple of years ago. The hamstring really derailed the entirety of his season last year. We'll see what Charlie Jones can do, but there's a reason the Bengals took him where they took him a couple of years ago in the draft. They believe in him, and they're going to give him a shot. And again, if you got Joe Burrow and two of the best wide receivers in the National Football League, that is the recipe for one of these guys to really burst on the scene. And I think Charlie Jones at least deserves a little bit of conversation. We'll see how he performs in training camp and the preseason. Last guy here on this list is Cam Taylor-Britt. Again, I think the Bengals had hopes, aspirations, dreams, goals of Cam Taylor-Britt being that bona fide cornerback one to go out there and line up against the best wide receiver in the National Football League or the best wide receiver on the opposing team. Obviously, that did not happen. There were cases last year where he was getting benched, and obviously that's not ideal for a guy you want to be your number one corner. But he's been around. He's been with the team. You hear a lot of good things about him. Hopefully he is fully focused on football. I think that's definitely something that's been a concern at times with Cam Taylor-Britt. But regardless, he's going to have an opportunity this year, right? They're running it back with this same room. His number is going to get called upon. He has a chance to really make amends here and show this team that, hey, no, I'm worthy of being a starting cornerback for your football team. I'm certainly rooting for him. We certainly see it with the freaky athleticism, the physicality, the strength, the big hits, the interceptions, the one-handed interceptions, right? A lot riding here on this season here for Cam Taylor-Britt as he tries to get back to that form he was in a couple of years ago and kind of build off that with his new defensive staff. So I think that's a pretty good list of 10 potential breakout candidates for Cincinnati entering this season. Do not miss any Cincinnati Bengals news, rumors, you name it. We've got it here at the channel. Help us out. Hit that sub button for me right now.